Anyone who joined us last night over at the Florida Maquis Twitch channel will verify for you that we had an absolute blast. It was the most fun we've had in a long time, especially given the way this year has gone. We started with maybe 3 or 4 followers on night 1. Last night was night 4. We have 116 followers now, and the numbers keep going up. If you haven't joined us over at Twitch, you should, because it's a lot of fun. It's very laid back. It's not Google. It's not all serious. I am with you live playing the game, and you can ask me a question about anything you want to. We talk about current events, Antarctica, Venezuela, you name it. So just to give you guys a quick glimpse into what it's like, it's an expansive region where there are so many different things going on. It's really meant for someone who enjoys a thinking man's game, or I should say a thinking person's game, as we also do have a lot of female viewers as well. So I do the very best I can. As you can see in the upper right, that's me seated there playing the game, and I am live. I've got a headset and a mic, and we engage and talk about just really anything that pops up. So 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. every night, 7 nights a week. This is what we're going to be doing to try to build an audience over on a place where we don't have to worry about so much censorship. We don't have to worry about watching every little thing we say, because we can. We can just kind of let loose and enjoy ourselves and relax. It's a very pro-engagement platform. It's really meant for connecting myself, the channel operator, to the audience, instead of just being kind of an entertainment factor that is heavily scrutinized and redacted. Also, earlier this morning, on that same note of maybe kind of lightening up and having a little bit of fun, with Halloween coming up, I thought I would create a pumpkin mask. And one that's very unique, just not just your average pumpkin. This one is, of course, all over print, and inside you've got a nice lit candle. So it will be one of the most unique masks that you will see this Halloween. And you can find it only at the Florida Maquis Mask Store, along with all of our other ones here. Still selling like crazy. Something here for everybody. Gospel of Jesus Christ, re-electing Donald Trump, which is going to be kind of the focus of today's video. We're going to show some things that not a lot of people have seen. And I'm still standing by my prediction about Val Demings, because now even CNN and a couple of other places have picked this up. I think they're doing a big head fake over there. But anyway, we have all sorts of different kind of masks that you can get. Wearing a mask under protest, no one owes you anything. We have, of course, still the Crusader masks, custom designed, collector's edition, one with a giant coronavirus on it, flatten the curve, official mask of the 2020 hoax virus, Antarctica, just about everything you would want. Recently, we're seeing a lot of the Guy Fawkes masks selling very, very quickly. So anyway, get them while we can. Who knows what's going to happen with the Bless Your Heart movement. They have a way of being offended by every little thing that they can think of. Now, some time ago, I made videos. 2 years ago, I made videos talking about if shit hits the fan, one of the first things the government's going to do is try to release as many prisoners as they can. And boy, did that set off a firestorm on YouTube. And I mean a huge firestorm. People were telling me I was crazy. They were going to gas them. They were going to shoot them and all this kind of stuff. Just absolute ridiculousness. 6 of the top 20 videos that I have on my channel, and I'm showing it right here. The 5 that you see with, of course, the map, and this number 1 video over here with kind of the bus. All of these deal with that issue. YouTube slammed the door on these videos. This one here that has 986,000 views was getting 20,000 views a day, when all of a sudden it dropped off to 0. They stopped my channel from getting a video with 1 million views. Because, like many others, they don't want you hearing the Florida Maquis. There are 5 things in the last 4 years that I've predicted correctly. And they don't want you to know this. The very first thing, the Electoral College fiasco of the election. And those videos are way, way back, 2016, but there are no videos that predate my first one talking about how the electors were going to flip. Number 2, I called Venezuela the greatest geopolitical miscalculation in U.S. history, and that there would be no invasion, and that Maduro would not be deposed. And I got called crazy for that, and here we are, and that's been the case. Number 3, the Fitzgerald investigation. Day 1 after that, I said it wasn't an accident, that they're screwing with the information and they're lying, and over 6 months in 2017, we proved that. The Antarctica videos stand on their own. And now the 5th thing, the thing with the prisoners. Now, the president, in his own words, I want you to listen to 9 minutes and 26 seconds into the press conference where he announced the signing of his executive orders. Let's hear him in his own words.
He wants people to pour into our country. They want to have open borders. We don't want to have open borders. So the Democrat bill includes stimulus checks for illegal aliens. They require the mass release of illegal aliens from detention. They also compel the mass release of inmates, including serious felons. How do you like that one? And this is in the bill that we're talking about. What does this have to do with stimulus, the economy? What does this have to do with the coronavirus? Know the name? What does this have to do with this?
That's the president of the United States, in his own words, 2 years later, actually over 2 years later, confirming what I predicted would be the case. Now, normally I don't like to start a video just saying that I'm right about this, and this. I was trained in the military, in intelligence, and analyzing people, analyzing patterns, analyzing behaviors. There are a lot of people out there like me. They don't all have YouTube channels, unfortunately, that see this stuff and understand this stuff. Now, the thing with Trump and Biden is real simple, and it's cynical. Biden has to win Florida to win the election, and he knows it. Part of me kind of thinks when Biden decided to become the nominee, the world was a very different place. I think if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't do it. I'll be very honest with you. I don't think he even wants to be. But if he's going to listen to his advisors on getting elected, it doesn't matter, and this is the point I need my audience to listen to. It doesn't matter who the most qualified is if he loses the election. It doesn't matter who the most qualified person is for vice president if he loses the election. And right now, it's coming down to 5 swing states. I don't care about voter corruption in New York, or California, or Seattle, or any other blue state. You know why? Because it isn't going to matter. If you lose by 1 vote, or you lose by 10 million, it's a winner-take-all electoral state. So none of that matters. The only states that matter are Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Florida. That's it. Those are the only states that matter. So the only dark horse out there for me would be Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. But even then, she's insanely unpopular up there right now. So I'm going to stick with Val Demings because CNN is starting to talk about this now. And this is what is this? This is national interest. And they're talking about this now. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, after talking about Kamala Harris and Susan Rice and Karen Bass and Keisha Lance, whoever, all of a sudden people are starting to say, hey, this girl's from Florida. We need Florida. Of course, if they admit this openly, what they would have to then admit is that it's a much closer race than they thought, or that they've been revealing, and that Biden might actually need to start making some decisions that just have the election in mind and not governance beyond it in mind. And this is going to be the belief that bringing somebody onto the ticket, African-American woman, of course, from Florida, chief of the police, law and order. You know, Biden at one time himself was a very law and order type Democrat. At one time, a long time ago, you could have possibly seen these guys in the same party and on the same side. At one time, Biden was part of a party that had a group of them that was a lot more toward the center, socially conservative. And at one time, Donald Trump was a registered Democrat and part of that same group. But that's a time long past. You know, that would have been, you know, the 80s, 90s era. And there's all sorts of sound bites and audio of Joe Biden talking about law and order and being pro-cop, and his loss of the police unions this year, devastating. Absolutely devastating, losing the endorsement of the police unions. There's 800,000 policemen in this country. Now imagine every one of them has a mother, a father, a wife, a brother, a sister, an aunt. And now put that up against defund the police. You're talking about millions and millions of votes getting swung over to Donald Trump. And they know this. They're just not admitting it. They absolutely know this. And picking a police officer, a former chief of the police, Val Demings, is the only thing that makes sense. If he listens to his advisors, he will pick this woman. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, please, Lord, let me be wrong. And have him pick some ridiculous choice like Susan Bass. Guarantee the end of it. Trump will win in a landslide. I still think he's going to win. It'll just be a lot closer. Florida will be an issue. So anyway, but please, YouTube being what it is, we always have to give ourselves options and not take the square peg of our own assumptions about how life should be and try to fit them into the round holes of reality. Because that's just the case. So I think you guys would actually enjoy Twitch. Those of you who haven't come over and signed up, I really do. I think you would enjoy it. There's really no mechanism they have for redacting views or blocking views or shadow banning. It's just not part of their model. It's a very user-friendly and viewer-centric platform. They want you there. They want you watching. They want you engaging. So anyway, and 2.5 hours a night, it's really a lot of fun. And I think that's something that perhaps on YouTube we've forgotten. That life can be fun and we can enjoy what we're doing. And relate to each other in a very different way. So I will leave it there. Like I said, 7:30 we get started. Sorry about the focus there. Having a bit of an issue. 7 to 7:30 we get started. Usually wrap it up by 9:30. And hope to see you there. I will give you all of the links, of course, down in the description. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.